morning students. In the last session we already discussed about the expansion of the liquids. So generally liquids expands on heating. Liquids possesses only cubical expansion, that is volume expansion, and the volume expansion again categorized into two types. One is apparent expansion, where gamma A is the coefficient of apparent expansion and coefficient of real expansion. We are already derived the relation between apparent expansion and real expansion, that is gamma R equal to gamma A plus gamma G. In this session we are going to discuss the anomalous expansion of the water. Generally liquids expands on heating, contract on cooling, but in the case of water, the water contracts on heating from 0 degree centigrade to 4 degree centigrade. The water contracts on heating from 0 degree centigrade to 4 degree centigrade and expands with further rise of temperature. Okay na? Generally liquids expands on heating, but the water contracts on heating from 0 degree centigrade to 4 degree centigrade and expands with further rise of temperature. And also liquids contract on cooling. Here the water contracts on cooling from 100 degree centigrade to 4 degree centigrade, and from 4 degree centigrade to 0 degree centigrade it expands on cooling. Okay na? Generally liquids contract on cooling. Here also the water contracts on cooling from 100 degree centigrade to 4 degree centigrade, but from 4 degree centigrade to 0 degree centigrade expands on cooling. So from 0 degree centigrade to 4 degree centigrade contract on heating, expands on cooling. This typical behavior of the water between 0 degree centigrade to 4 degree centigrade is called anomalous behavior of the water. Okay na? What is meant by the anomalous behavior? The water contracts by increasing the temperature from 0 degree centigrade to 4 degree centigrade, expands on cooling from 4 degree centigrade to 0 degree centigrade. This typical behavior of the water is called anomalous behavior of the water. And the water possesses maximum density and minimum volume at 4 degree centigrade. We know mass equal to volume into density, volume is equal to mass per density. Volume is minimum where the density is maximum. Okay na? Volume is minimum where the density is maximum. So when we draw a graph between temperature and volume of the water, with increasing the temperature from 0 degree centigrade to 4 degree centigrade, the volume of the water gradually decreases, and this is minimum at 4 degree centigrade, because on increasing the temperature the water contracts from 0 degree centigrade to 4 degree centigrade, so its volume is decreases and its volume increases with the further rise of temperature. Okay na? When we draw a graph between temperature and volume of the water, With increasing the temperature, the volume of the water gradually decreases and it is minimum at 4 degrees centigrade and increases with the further rise of temperature. As the same way, if we draw a graph between temperature and density of the water, as the temperature increases, the density of the water increases and maximum at 4 degrees centigrade and decreases with the further rise of temperature. When the temperature increases, the density of the water increases and it possesses maximum density at 4 degrees centigrade and the density of the water decreases with the further rise of temperature. Basically, at 0 degrees centigrade, the density of the water is 0.998 gram per centimeter cube. The units of density in CGS units is gram per centimeter cube and SI system kg per meter cube. Okay na? So, it is maximum at 4 degrees centigrade. So, the density of the water at 4 degrees centigrade is at 4 degrees centigrade 1 gram per centimeter cube or 1000 kg per meter cube. So, this is the density of the water at 4 degrees centigrade and it has maximum at 4 degrees centigrade. Okay na? When the temperature of the water increases, gradually the density of the water increases at a particular temperature, that is 4 degrees centigrade, it is maximum and with the further rise of temperature, the density is minimum. Again at 8 degrees centigrade, the density of the water is 0.998 gram per. And our next topic is significance of expansion of anomalous expansion of water. Here we are having one question. Basically, in cold countries, in winter season, the water contracts and form into ice. Then the question is, how the aquatic animals like fishes, etc., survive their lives. So, the aquatic animals survive their lives due to anomalous behavior of the water. Now, we are going to discuss significance of the anomalous expansion of water. In cold countries, in winter season, the atmospheric temperature gradually decreases and lakes and ponds cooled, contracts and sinks into the bottom. This process is continuous until the total water in the pond gets 4 degrees centigrade. Okay. Once the water attain 4 degrees centigrade at the bottom, because the water reaches to the bottom at 4 degrees centigrade, the water possesses maximum density. That's why when it is attained maximum density, the water reaches to the bottom of the lake. Okay na? Then the temperature of the upper surface or upper layer gradually decreases. Okay na? The layer above the 4 degrees centigrade becomes 3 degrees, above this 2 degrees, above the layer attain 1 degree, and finally the top layer on the pond surface or lake surface gets 0 degree centigrade. At 0 degree centigrade, the water has minimum density. So, it floats on the surface of the water. And also, ice is a bad conductor of heat. It does not allows the further cooling into the lake. So, the water at the bottom of the lake remains at 4 degree centigrade. So, the aquatic animals survive their lives in cold countries due to anomalous expansion of water. So, we already discussed anomalous behavior of the water and its significance. And our next topic is thermal expansion of gases. Basically, gases does not possess any particular shape. They expand with the temperature. When the gases are introduced into the vessel, the gas occupies full volume of the vessel. And when we expand the gases, we consider the thermodynamic variables of the gases. They are pressure, volume and temperature. These are the thermodynamic variables of the gas. But here we cannot vary pressure, volume at a time with the temperature. So, we can vary the pressure with the temperature, keeping the volume is constant. We can vary the volume with the temperature with the keeping the pressure is constant. Okay na? We can vary the pressure with the temperature by keeping the volume is constant. We can vary the volume with the temperature, keeping the pressure is constant. So, gases has two coefficient of expansions. First one is volume coefficient. Volume coefficient of gas, it is represented with alpha. Okay. So, what is meant by the volume coefficient of gas? If V0 is the volume of the gas at 0 degrees centigrade, Vt is the volume of the gas at T degree centigrade, then volume coefficient of the gas is defined as, it is defined as the ratio of increasing in volume to the volume at 0 degrees centigrade for unit rise of temperature, keeping the pressure is constant. Okay na? So, what is meant by the volume coefficient of gas? It is defined as the ratio of increasing in volume to the volume at 0 degrees centigrade for unit rise of temperature, keeping the pressure is constant. And its value practically 1 by 273.15 degrees centigrade inverse, or alpha is equal to 0.00366 degrees centigrade inverse. Okay na? So, its value 1 by 273.15 degree centigrade inverse or 0.00366 degree centigrade inverse. If V1 is the volume of the gas at T1 degree centigrade, V2 is the volume of the gas at T2 degree centigrade, we can write V2 is equal to, we know already V2 is equal to V0 into 1 plus alpha T2, V1 is equal to V0 into 1 plus alpha T1. So, V2 by V1 is equal to 1 plus alpha T2 by 1 plus alpha T1. By solving, we get alpha is equal to V2 minus V1 by V1 T2 minus V2 T1. So, this is the another formula to calculate volume coefficient of gas. Okay, na? Similarly, pressure coefficient of gas. pressure coefficient of gas. It is represented with beta. Let P naught is the pressure of the gas at 0 degrees centigrade. Okay na? Pt is the pressure of the gas at T degree centigrade. Then pressure coefficient of the gas is defined as the ratio of increasing in pressure to the pressure at 0 degrees centigrade for rise of unit temperature. Okay na? And units are degree centigrade inverse. Okay na? What is meant by the pressure coefficient of the gas? It is defined as the ratio of increasing in the pressure to the pressure at 0 degree centigrade for rise of unit temperature, keeping the volume is constant. Okay na? Similarly, beta can be written as beta is equal to P2 minus P1 by P1 T2 minus P2 T1, where P1 and P2 are the pressure of the gas at T1 degree centigrade and T2 degree centigrade. Practically, its value beta is equal to 1 by 273.15 degree centigrade inverse or Kelvin inverse. Okay na? So, from the explanation, we can say that alpha is equal to beta. So, pressure coefficient of the gas is equal to volume coefficient of gas. We conclude that gases has two coefficient of expansions. One is volume coefficient of gas, keeping the pressure is constant. Okay na? Another one is pressure coefficient of the gas, keeping the volume is constant. Okay na? So, they are represented with alpha and beta. So, alpha is equal to beta, that is equal to 1 by 273.15 degree centigrade inverse. Our next topic is gas laws. So, we have two kind of laws, one is Boyle's law, another one is Charles' law. We know the thermodynamic physical quantities are pressure, volume and temperature. Here the gases are varies with the absolute scale of temperature. What is meant by the absolute scale of temperature? Capital T is equal to small t plus 273. We are already discussed. Okay na? Capital T is equal to small t plus 273 degrees centigrade. Then what is meant by the absolute scale of temperature? The scale designed with minus 273 degrees centigrade as a 0 Kelvin. Okay na? The scale designed with minus 273 degrees centigrade as a, it means let small t is equal to minus 273 degrees centigrade or 273.15. Capital T is equal to 0 Kelvin. Okay na? So, we can take 273 or 273.15. T is equal to 0 Kelvin when small t is equal to minus 273 degrees centigrade, where capital T is called absolute scale of temperature. The gases varies with absolute scale of temperature. Now we discuss about Boyle's law. At constant absolute scale of temperature, at constant absolute scale of temperature, the pressure of the given mass of the gas inversely proportional to volume. Okay na? At constant temperature, the pressure of the given mass of the gas inversely proportional to volume. So, P equal to some constant K by V. So, PV is equal to constant, and the constant depends on mass of the given gas. It depends on mass of given gas. So PV equal to constant, we can write P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2. Okay na? If you draw a graph between pressure and volume, at P taken on y axis, V on x axis, the graph becomes like rectangular hyperbola. Rectangular hyperbola. It is also called isothermic graph. It is also called isothermic graph. So the shape of the graph is rectangular hyperbola, and also it is called isothermic graph. Why it is called isothermic graph? Isothermic means temperature is constant. Okay na? What is meant by the Boyle's law? At constant absolute scale of temperature, the pressure of the given gas is inversely proportional to its volume. So PV equal to constant, where K depends on given mass of the gas. Now we discuss about Charles' law. Again here we are having two laws. One is Charles volume law at constant volume law, and Charles at constant pressure law. Okay na? So Charles first law. At constant pressure, the volume of the given mass of the gas is directly proportional to absolute scale of temperature. Okay na? At constant pressure, the volume of the given mass of the gas is directly proportional to absolute scale of temperature. So V is equal to K into T. V by T is equal to constant, or V1 by V2 is equal to T1 by T2. When the graph is drawn between volume and temperature, the graph is straight line from the origin. The graph is straight line from the origin. So this is Charles' first law. Similarly, Charles' second law, that is at a constant volume law. At a constant volume, the pressure of the given mass of the gas is directly proportional to absolute scale of temperature. P is equal to K into T. P by T is equal to constant. So P1 by T1 is equal to P2 by T2. If a graph is drawn between pressure and temperature, the graph is straight line from the origin. Okay na? What is Charles' second law? At a constant volume, the pressure of the given mass of the gas is directly proportional to absolute scale of temperature. So P1 by T1 is equal to P2 by T2. Now we are going to derive the expression for ideal gas equation.